Somebody once told me the world is gonna roll me. I ain't the
All right, more work on this thing to do today. So I noticed there's a little puddle under the car, some red fluid that's since been cleaned up. And now one of the power steering lines, the one that we didn't touch, the one that goes to the cooler, is dripping onto the new one below it. I was extremely careful with that, knowing that it's, problematic once they're disturbed. But I think moving forwards, we're just going to have to start including that in the power steering job. It's about a 50% failure rate that those go once they're removed from the cooler. So I've ordered that. It'll be in either tomorrow or Monday, and then we're going to have to replace that line. Caesar came in today just for an update on the car and looked around and checked everything out. We are almost done, still waiting on the wheels to return. I ended up sending them back. They weren't right. So waiting on those, and then the power steering line, and then a little bit of road testing. We'll scan for codes and see what's next. This guy is awaiting an MPI. F10 is chilling. My car is still waiting on calipers. The powder coater shop is closed all week, so that's the latest yet another week. This thing's waiting on rear struts, which we overnighted. They're coming in tomorrow, and we should be able to get those. I'd love to get them in tomorrow since these are out. We're going to reuse the springs, change everything else. I didn't see any reason to replace these springs. They're not broken anywhere. Probably clean them up a little bit. And then we'll get to use that guy again. And the 545, the sublet there is happening on next Wednesday at 9 a.m. I think it's going down to B&B. They're going to put those secondary levered things back in, and then we're going to bring it back up here, reseal the valve cover, get it running, see what engines or engine-related trouble codes there are. If there aren't any, we'll move on to the other 50 stored problems in this car. We got codes out the yin-yang. The steering is super heavy. The brakes suck. I think it needs a new master or booster somewhere, but he said he already did those as part of the engine rebuild process. So maybe that wasn't done right, because you pump the pedal up and there's like nice brake pressure. But then a minute later, the pedal goes all the way to the floor again until you pump it up again. So Nate, maybe you know what I need to be looking for. Maybe I start with bleeding the brakes, or if there's some sort of a vacuum issue out here, I don't know. I don't 100% understand how any of this stuff works. But I do know how to use the brakes. You press the pedal. So this side of the engine's back together. They did a nice job on that this morning. Airbox back in, and valve covers on and torqued, and all the sensors are in. Everything kind of but the beauty cover there. And then obviously the site's going to stay open. We're going to cover it. I forgot to bring like plastic cling wrap today, just so nothing falls in there. Though nothing can fall in there any larger than what we have extracted from there. Good morning. It's Thursday night. I got a haircut and it feels so much better. I came back and we got pizza for dinner. We've been watching Family Guy for the past few hours. Today was a day of talking to like 3/4 of my customers. It felt like it. It's not, that's a gross exaggeration, but Carlos came by. Greg was there. Rick, talked to Ken. I am missing the majority of them. Daniel, Marvin, Oliver. Holy crap, like everybody today either stopped by, emailed, texted. Like it was a really well diversified day. I talked to a lot of different people on a lot of different mediums, set up a bunch of stuff, just a good day in that respect. Didn't get a lot of work done back in the shop, but sometimes you need to spend time and days setting up the work versus doing the work. So that was today. We'll keep tonight short. Tomorrow's the last day of the year, Friday, December 31st, 2021. I'll talk to you then. Good night.